And no, now, like this DeAndre Hill thing, and just going through this journey that I've never gone through with a family, right? I see him, I hear him, I see people like you active, but it's just never popped off. And something like this has just never happened when I had a capacity or space to really do anything about it. And it's just, oh, that's that poor boy. I hope they get justice. Anyway, what are we having for dinner? You know what I mean? And I look away. And so there's so many things that I did support, say his name, and Black Lives Matters. And I did support them for sure, but I did not have a full understanding of what say his or her name means and why people were so upset about them doing it with Alex Preddy. Because everyone's saying Alex Preddy's name. Stop telling me to say his name, because we're saying it right now. But I don't think more people are now saying, his name, but they're DeAndre Hill's name, but there's still not enough people.
It's the thing that has.
And I've gone on there just commenting. When I see local people commenting about ICE or Alex Preddy, I'm like, that's great, but have you heard about?
And this other incredibly long list throughout the last 100 years.
Right now I'm really focused on the most recent one. And then if you look at my drive, I have a folder that's WTPD, and I have a folder labeled victims. And he has a folder that has 28 Dash's name. And then that's going to change, I guarantee you, because that spreadsheet you saw is not complete. I know it's not complete. I know there's more out there, and I'm going to do everything I can to find them. And I am just Wichita Police or whatever. I'm getting, I wouldn't say inundated, but every day so far since I started the Exposing Wichita page, I've got a message. I'm going to try not to cry. I've got a message or an email from somebody saying, this happened to me, this happened to my family at the hands of the Wichita Police Department, and we need help. And that means I've had one or two people, so this means at least 6 people have reached out to me, either via email or via messenger or in my comments that say, please help me, they killed my cousin. Please help me, they sexually assaulted me and no one's listening. Please help me. They came into my house and shot my dog. Was one of them, and
they deflect with, oh, we have to let due process happen.
And then I make sure that I don't want to give out too much information because I haven't had full enough conversations with what they want revealed publicly. And I don't even care if I can't reveal something publicly. I want to document the data of it, and I want to, if they need me to quietly fight for them, I will fight for them and go in there. And it's very upsetting. I was prepared for it, but at the same time I wasn't. There are so many people in Wichita, and I've just got the tip of the iceberg, that have been abused and hurt and have had things happen to them at the hands of the police department that no one is talking about. Not just killing them. We eventually all hear about a death, but there are so many small abuses happening to people every day at the hands of the Wichita Police Department, even if it's not raping them or whatever, even if it's just impinging upon their First Amendment or any of their constitutional rights. And it's happening every single day. And they don't always have documentation. And so they don't always have an officer's name. They don't always have all the information they need for me to fully investigate it, to be able to fully call out somebody personally. But they do have enough. I still want the information, whatever information they have about an abuse that the police have done to them, or that corruption happening within the city itself, that they know somebody's stealing or they know somebody's. So that's my whole thing is you know who Seymour Hersh is? Watch the documentary Cover Up. You know who he is, you just don't know who he is because he doesn't make it about himself. He did a lot of investigative journalism. He broke the case of what was happening down in, that camp they made down that Obama was supposed to close, Guantanamo. When those pictures of them going next to naked people, he got those from an anonymous source. And he revealed them, and he will not reveal the sources. And people are upset because of that. And that's the thing, too, is that I'm not going to reveal a source. So, yeah, it's a conversation. Each case and I got to have the time to have those conversations with people and figure out the best way to do it and get my shit together. Because this is so much bigger than, it's so much bigger than me, and it's so much bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. And this kind of envelops one of the ideas I drive, and it's an old axiom from Machiavelli: don't hire mercenaries. The Wichita Police Department are mercenaries. They are not actually our community. When they say they are community police, they are actually policing community.
Because as we've seen, at the end of the day, they're going to protect themselves. At the end of the day, that body cam footage, that body camera that we paid for, that's supposedly supposed to be there so they can give accountability or whatever, they are allowed to put out just enough of it to spin their narrative and then tell me I can't have the rest because it's an ongoing investigation. And I think that, so as far as I'm trying to focus on a couple things that I can actually get done, because it's going to be years. There will be justice.
Oh, yes.
But it's going to be a long time. It's going to be years. And then in that time, the mayor's going to change and a council member's going to change. And it's going to be years. And
my dream is to get the city council full of abolitionists. And again, when we think about abolitionism, because I use that word a lot, there's a lot of historical context to that, but then there's just the modern understanding that our current economic system is based off of slavery.
See, and I think this is like what I'm saying where I can help, like even with you or what you're saying is that, like, just so you know my background, I can't say I officially have a degree because I need either a 5-hour course, from Wichita State in a foreign language to officially get that piece of paper. But I can tell you right now that I have taken all the classes that I need for their integrated marketing communication, on a minor in entrepreneurship, a minor in political science. I think that's it. And so a lot of business classes, but I did their integrated marketing communication, and it's a great program. I don't know if you know anything about it. So they taught me how to video edit. They taught me how to do this. They taught me journalism. They taught me how to PR. They taught me marketing. And so I have a lifelong, as it turns out, because I'm autistic and ADHD, I have my whole life been trying to figure out how to talk to humans because I feel like an alien. And I'm here and I'm like trying to figure humans out, their motivations, and this how to communicate with them effectively because there's so many times that I feel like I'm not being heard or like they don't understand what I'm saying. And so I think that there are ways to filter your message, not change it, that are going to be, and most people are just, like I probably have I don't know what my reading or comprehension level is right now, but I guarantee yours is much higher than mine. And your vocabulary and all that is much greater than mine.
I don't do names and dates very well, don't ask me.
No, I can't.
Bryant, in essence, is simply trying to do that. Establish discord.
Yeah.
He openly volunteers to have people come and sit across from him.
Who is this that's popping off
Speak.
screen? Just so you
So
get
this is my dear friend Beep.
No, you can say
No.
anything. I just
So I actually brought Beep here
know who that
to
voice is.
help discuss the discipline that I'm using for the systemic audit. Beep was attending Wichita State in the anthropology department alongside when I was working on my master's. And they, over the years, of the last 10 years, have been a crucial element in a lot of the...
Are you they, them?
I mean,
Yeah.
You mean?
yeah, trust me, you'd be like, okay, this beat.
And yeah, so when it comes to like my knowledges, there's actually a lot of people that can't be here right now to speak their minds that are actually like voices that I'm trying to channel.
And if you want to, I'm trying to funnel everybody into my email. And if you want to tell any of those people that they can email me, contact kansashelen.com, and I'll sit down and talk to them too. I don't just want to sit down and talk with politicians. You know that I'm on your side, that I see it, and that ultimately at the end of the day, I think that like I was saying, that I have the ability to take things, take messages and craft them and get them in a way that people that would normally buck you or whatever can truly comprehend and understand.
I also need to explain another facet of the work that I do. My quote-unquote belligerence is intentional. So the idea is about expanding the outlier. I never expect a representative or anybody to listen to me, but within the expansion of the discourse, and language used, other people have the capacity to speak up to the degree of my hostilities. So I have quite the capacity to have decorum and use etiquette. My real life persona is literally
really
just
showing
this.
that.
Yeah, no, and that's why I wanted the in-person thing,
Yeah.
because the voicing, and again, that narrative that is created on the internet is a thing that needs to be hyper observed and deconstructed. And these are things that are difficult to process in the moment, especially since on the internet we have our hyper reactionary selves consuming brain rot. So people take a lot of this stuff on the internet very personally. And again, a lot of my methods is not necessarily for people to listen to me, but to listen to other people doing a lot of the same work that are working in similar fields. And so a lot of what I end up doing, my concept is that I work in parallel with a lot of other people and entities. And I work in solidarity, which means that I have the capacity to work within my cleavage, and people have the capacity to work within their own. And
Yeah, I think that if we're going to change these deeply rooted systematic problems, that it takes people of all kinds of abilities. And I've been trying to tell like my liberal friends that, because I'll have friends that comment, I don't want to keep naming them, but I'll have friends that comment that are like left. They're left. They are out of the system. They do not vote Democrat. They will not vote for a Democrat. They are they have left the system is what they've done. And they will comment and they keep pushing. And yeah, their comments can be a little oral, and then I will have friends message and be like, who is this woman? Who is this dude? And I'd be like, oh, that's my buddy. And they're like, they're not being helpful. I was like, actually, they are being helpful because they are why I have been pushed further left. I've been pushed further left by you. I've been pushed further left by Gemma. Because what happens is they come into my comments, and because they know I'm not anyone to be yelling at necessarily, they are firm. I don't mind being firm with me. They're not getting personal with me. And they're like, no, Helen, this is, and then I'll look into it. And then the more I look into things, the more I realize how the radical left has been. Like, I made a post today about how I remember in the early 2000s when I was in my early 20s and in a Pentecostal cult and high on Jesus, how the leftists were saying, don't form ICE, do not do this. Don't let them have a surveillance state, and don't let them do the Patriot Act. There's probably so many pissed off freaking leftists in their 60s right now, but I'm just saying they were trying so hard in the 90s and in the early 2000s to say, this is going to be bad if you build this ICE, if you pass this Patriot Act, if you let them do this, this is what's going to happen eventually in the future. And people were like, no, that's not going to happen. And that is exactly, they were right.
Yeah, it was the whole premise of we were in the days of being afraid. Those were, we had done got our bells
And they took
rung,
advantage of
and
it.
They took advantage, exactly. Our bells were ringing, and they went ahead and took advantage. They immediately came in with the Patriot Act, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. And I was just a young mom with kids that was scared.
It frightened all of us. That had never happened in our, it changed.
But now after the fact, 25 years later,
There's nothing
I can now
scares
see
me.
how all of that impacted the Muslim community.
Hindsight is just, we've got it now. and
We've got it, but if we continue to not use it, and then I also think if we continue to not make plans that are based in long-term goals, a lot of what elected officials and politicians do that I am very sick of is they're worried about their next election. And they're worried about looking good so they can get elected again. And they do it down to city council all the way up. Brandon Johnson's doing it right now. He's definitely running for mayor. I can see in his actions and words at the end, at the end of his thing, he got more and more. Here's the thing, Wichita City Council and everything, not that you guys are going to see this, but here's the thing is I'm autistic and I have very good pattern recognition. And I have a history of an education and communication, so words, little earworms. Right? And so there are certain things that stick in my ear, stick in my ear, stick in my ear. I make the pattern of the way they talk when they're in the council, the way they talk when they're on these videos, the way they talk when they're in a meeting or whatever it is they do. And I can recognize your fake outrage. I can recognize when you're being a real human and when you're being a robot. And I can tell your sincerity by the tone of your voice. And you may be able to fool other people with your little hand motions and your little popping. Joseph Shepard in his videos that he was making with DeAndre Hill lay dead on a slab about sales tax. I'm just, it's just pissed. Like the gloves are off at this point. Like what? And he's making this little video, Wichita, come out, and he's doing the hand motion, and he's doing the words, and he's posting about Martin Luther King, and he's posting about C.J. Clifton, the kid, Clofton that was killed, the child that was killed at the hands of our authorities. And he's posting, and he said in that post, and this is before he posted about anything, say his name. And he said, say his name. And I'm like, really? I think there's a few names you're forgetting about. Joseph, I might fuck around and get elected to council.
Yeah, and a lot of...
I might move back to Wichita, I don't know.
And I'm not saying like Joseph doesn't care on a basic human level, but I just don't think
When
he-
push comes to shove, what he has done is what all the other politicians do.
It's just,
I do have a problem with something specifically he has done, which is lie. He didn't word it correctly. He should have worded it differently if he wanted to not have me come after him for it. He said, we cannot say more.
Yeah, you can say a lot of things.
And a lot of people, like me too, I assume there's some sort of contract or gag rule or something, because I know the police authorities supposedly can't say more at certain times because they are under these rules. And that's one thing I broke down in my Substack that I'm probably going to break into its own Substack. And so is that